The reason for this mask with the makeup on is that when I was a young teenager, it's what I used to hide the feelings of anger, loneliness, depression, fear, pain, hurt, abandonment, shame, jealousy, powerlessness. I use this mask very faithfully every day. I guess you can say mainly to hide myself, very neat and tidy like, so no one will ever know. But I'm the most important person, and I knew. How can you trust anyone or anything if the image in the mirror is not yourself? I look in the mirror and I saw a very happy, beautiful, powerful, spiritual, kind, loving, motherly, natural, young, spontaneous, gentle, home-loving, strong, healthy, smart, proud woman looking back at me, and that is who I am.
People that came to share with us today who are organizing our group, our program, we sing a song in thanks. In the visions and goals that we have here in our community. So when we began as new teachers, we began to rediscover ourselves, and we looked at the things that were missing within our lives and said, this is what we want for our children. I graduated from an Indian residential school, and as a result, I had not experienced the parenting skills that were needed for me to become a parent. The nurturing skills, my culture, the dancing, the songs, the spiritual traditions, and other traditions that are very important for us to be a balanced people who have a self-identity and a self-worth.
I was in residential school also, so we didn't get any teachings at home also because we're in the schools, residential schools. So after I got out, I wanted to learn our culture and our teachings of the elders. I think it brought me closer to my daughter with communication skills and how to talk to her. And I was actually doing play roles with her with my school and my homework, and so that helped me out a lot as a mother and a daughter, and we got closer as a mother and a daughter, and I learned to be a better parent by using the skills from child and youth care. Some of the teachings like I'm going through a process with my daughter when she becomes a young lady, and I go visit the elders and see what kind of ways of going through when she becomes a young woman. So I do go visit the elders, and I also bring some bakery stuff that I make, and just to exchange with the teachings.
Today, I don't view myself as non-native. Today, I view myself as a non-status native, and it sounds minor, but it's major. And reclaiming who I really am, and I found that strength through this course.
Our way of life has kind of changed quite a bit now that we have to start taking some kind of responsibility for some of our youth and our children. And I think most of our lives, the women usually did that. And they're the ones that talked to the children, and the men were there to discipline them, but the women were the ones that were, talking to them all the time and teaching them lessons and what not to do and what to do. And I think it's a good program for the men to do to better themselves, to understand what some of these children and youth are going through. And I think we need more men in child and youth care because, you know, there's a lot of young boys in there that want to look up to men to show them our culture, go spearing in the summer, and you know, that's mainly a man's thing to do.
This program, really, when I think about it, it supports my life. That's all I can say, is because I view it as a life skills program. It's 4 years of life skills learning about personal, professional, integrating both of them. So the more I develop personally, the more professionally I was more effective and efficient doing the work that I always wanted to do. The kinds of work that I've always wanted to do, I'm actually able to carry them out now because I have the skills.
Pass those ones out.
I've been doing my practicum, and just this past Tuesday I got hired for a job. So I'm actually not finished my program yet, and I'm already hired into a job, so I'm excited about it.
The good that we celebrate today has been possible only because of the willingness and ability of people to take risks, to engage in partnership, to explore new ways of thinking and doing things, and to help and learn from each other at every step of our joint endeavor.
We can't learn everything from our books. We have to learn from our elders too as to how to raise our children, and then they'll learn how to raise their children, and goes on from there. So it's like applying two worlds as one.
This isn't a curriculum that's about either or. This is a curriculum that's about both and. This is a living curriculum. It's a generative curriculum that continues to generate different ideas and different perspectives.
More and more First Nations in Canada are interested in having early childhood education training that involves their community, that meets community goals, and that integrates traditional and contemporary cultural values and practices.
My involvement with this started back in 1989, so 10 years ago. And I had a call from the executive director of the Meadow Lake Tribal Council.
It was a matter of let's phone somebody, talk to them, see if they have a little bit of creative juices within their veins that they would like to do some new challenges. And I think that's quite common in a lot of the institutions, but you got to find the right people that have that energy, that want to go just beyond the norm of what is there. I think fortunate for you, Vic, and I think fortunate for our people in Meadow Lake and the Aboriginal people that we found you. We made a phone call, and really right now, I think probably when we sat there, we wondered what the hell each other was doing.
I was caught up, quite frankly, in the energy that you were bringing into that meeting and the level of commitment. And I remember about halfway through thinking, well, I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to be exciting.
We wanted somebody who was prepared to undertake a new relationship and look at curriculum in a new way. And how can we integrate First Nation culture, beliefs, and values into the heart of curriculum, and not just take existing off-the-shelf curriculum and modify it around the edges. We wanted something that really breathed the heart and soul of the communities.
The education that's being achieved through this isn't something that could come out of a university or an institutional base alone, nor is it one that would necessarily come out of a community on its own. But I think it's that putting together the two different pieces that really makes it work.
The desire to bring those two perspectives together and to have a bicultural, or many of our partnerships, a multicultural curriculum come out of it. I think that that's one of the things that's brought us to this work and made it so exciting for us.
The generative part of the curriculum, where the materials are coming from the community rather than materials going into it. It's like community-based. That one, I thought that was really interesting. I learned a lot from the elders, that there's a difference in traditional child rearing and contemporary. And I see a lot of that here with my own kids. Did you do that when you were a little girl? She'll say to me. Did you play like this? Like before, I didn't know what empowerment was. I was always in control before. I tried to take the controlling seat, but now it's best that they make decisions on their own and learn from what they do with their mistakes. Another thing I learned is to always praise them, to always give them positive reinforcement on what they did.
The process of being involved in a generative curriculum approach to training in early childhood education is an opportunity for people to revisit their own childhoods, to learn about the childhoods of other members of the community, many of them who are much older now, and to strengthen their own sense of cultural identity and positive self-esteem that's associated with that cultural identity. And some of that happens through the sharing of stories and the elders' participation.
The elders were happy about it, and because the first time they've been involved, we never asked elders before, never needed them. We're too smart. Now we have them all involved in every program.
Yeah, we sat the three of us once.
So when I came here, started working with the elders, I was lost. But I learned. I visit elders quite a bit. I visit women elders, men elders, give them tobacco, and they tell you what you want to know. They won't tell you everything. You have to try to learn for yourself.
We have to encourage the young people nowadays to go on, to go on and learn more. When they finish grade 12, they should go on again, There's no way to stop like wherever, And it is such a good feeling to see them, how they're learning, I was there when they opened that kindergarten school there, when Those little ones were talking and everything, you know. It was just amazing how much they knew. Yeah. It was a good place we lived years back. There was more peace, more love amongst people, respect. But nowadays, I think that's missing. The respect for one another. Even we have to start respect ourselves, and then we can respect everybody.
Attended residential school all my young days, and as a result, I had not experienced the nurturing skills, my culture, the dancing, the songs, the spiritual traditions, and other traditions that are very important for us to be a balanced people and who have a self-identity and a self-worth. So when we began as new teachers, we began to rediscover ourselves, and we looked at the things that were missing within our lives and said, this is what we want for our children. So these programs were very important. Point blank ask them what has changed. They gotta think about it. I played the role of an instructor and the elder coordinator and the student support worker, and also for the generative curriculum, the data collector for the program.
I'm the oldest in Montgomery of all the women. Yeah, I should give them heck whenever they ask me to talk. What are the women doing nowadays? I tell them, you know. Because I can't even keep still myself, you know. I got to be doing something, doing this, or there's lots of things to be done.
You let Grandma and Gabriel hear you use your words, okay? We're really, really lucky our elders to be there.
The elders enjoyed that time with our group. They could sit there, they're full of humor.
No, he gets up 6 o'clock.
So it was really a good time, you know, and the students wrote down what the elders said, and then they would hand those in, or they would use them for their essay writing or their exams, and for the input for the generative curriculum.
I'm just wondering if, like, you being the elders, like, have heard of this belief, or...
And if we don't ask the elders and don't have the input, then whatever we are going to operate or design will not be as effective in our community as it is with the blessing of the elders.
Patience. The elders teach us every week, and they come in. That was the main
I found a little pink
thing. And I found that before I wasn't that patient. You did so. Cute. And to listen to what they have to say, get down to their level. That was in our work right from the beginning, was to get down to their level, which is common sense, really, when you think about it. Yeah, and he reads the books too, because he's new at being a father, and especially with the little ones. Many of us, we were raised way out in the middle of nowhere, so I like to tell the kids about that, because it was no electricity, no running water and whatnot. And I've always wanted to be a teacher, so it was a perfect opportunity for me. I want to get a degree
I seen that too.
And work with the primary grades.
For these students, what they have when they come out of this, it's almost like they have to switch back and forth in two worlds very often. I do that, like I'll go into the Indigenous perspective, then I'll go back into the mainstream, and it's not that the program gives them that Indigenous way. They've had it, they know it, and it just the process allows it to come out.
The reason for this mask with the makeup on is that when I was a young teenager, it's what I used to hide the feelings of anger, loneliness, depression, fear, pain, hurt, abandonment, shame, jealousy. I use this mask very faithfully every day. I guess you can say mainly to hide myself, very neat and tidy like, so no one will ever know. But I'm the most important person, and I knew. How can you trust anyone or anything if the image in the mirror is not yourself? I look in the mirror and I saw a very happy, beautiful, powerful, spiritual, kind, loving, motherly, natural, young, spontaneous, gentle, home-loving, strong, healthy, smart, proud woman looking back at me, and that is who I am.